Hey guys, Those are Communications. Welcome to part 2 of movies that get the Shaft on DVD. And I'm going to start off with another Schwarzenegger film, a classic, True Lies. True Lies, 1994 film, huge hit in the box office. Really popular with critics, probably arguably one of the most popular of Arnold's films in terms of, critical acclaim. Big fan base. Directed by James Cameron. In my opinion, the last truly great movie that he directed. Because after Titanic, he became king of the world, got cocky, and I think he lost his touch personally for me. Became more visual effects orientated and less more into like story or other kind of stuff. Or it was like he forgot how to direct an action movie in a way, because none of the action sequences in Avatar, in my opinion, were all that exciting. But that's another video. But anyway, True Lies. Classic movie, and has nothing. I don't even know if it's been released on Blu-ray yet. Bare bones DVD, and that's just an insult to such a great film. And I guess it's because there's an interesting backstory behind True Lies on DVD. 20th Century Fox was originally going to release True Lies as part of their 5-star collection DVD sets, like Independence Day and Speed, 2 discs, and they were going to release it around the time of, in September of 2011. September of 2001. And, what happened? 9/11 occurred, and then for some reason, Fox just scrapped the idea of the 5-star and just said, we'll just keep it bare bones. We're not going to release the 5-star collection version. Release it bare bones, and that's it. And I just don't understand that. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. I understand there was some controversy with the film back when it came out. There were some Middle Eastern people, not all of the Middle Eastern people felt this way. There's some people who felt the film was racist and protested it. And after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, I guess Fox didn't want to take any chances, and decided to just not release a special edition. But here's the thing. Call me an insensitive asshole if you want to, but, bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, Fox wasn't going to release Fox decided not to release the 5-star collection version of True Lies, interviews and commentaries, because, oh my god, they're afraid of riots in the streets, and the people are going to protest it, and they're going to throw the DVDs out the shelves and burn them, because they're dealing with terrorism. Doesn't make any fucking sense. It really doesn't. Same thing with Collateral Damage getting pushed back for release because it had terroristic elements in it. Yeah, the American public are that sensitive that just the word terrorist or anything involving terrorism in a movie or in a DVD release, they'll flip out and go fucking batshit crazy. I understand it's a horrible event that happened in American history. We will never forget it. But it's about time that True Lies has a good DVD now. At least, or Blu-ray. It's been, 12 years? Or longer than that since 9/11? It's not an excuse anymore, and it wasn't an excuse in the first place for not releasing True Lies as this 5-star collection DVD in the first place. I'm sorry. I find it hard to believe that it would have made that big of a splash, that it would have been on the news. How dare Fox for releasing a special edition of a movie dealing with terrorist attacks? Well, the terrorist attacks are thwarted by Arnold. Arnold says, you're fired, and blows some fucking terrorists up. I would think that would be, I don't know, crowd-pleasing, a good moment for, America at that point in time. The movie's pro-American, the movie's dealing with terrorism, but it also deals with Arnold kicking terrorists' ass. Wouldn't that would be what the American public want to see? You have that song, Toby Keith song, I'm gonna stick a boot up his ass, Okay. That was really popular at the time. Why the heck isn't True Lies? Why would True Lies cause any controversy? I highly doubt the American public would be throwing riots, breaking DVDs and shit. It wasn't going to be that big of a deal, but Fox for some reason thought it was going to be. I don't know why. I don't know who gave Fox that idea, but it's bullshit. Because True Lies is a great film. It's the only James Cameron movie, other than Piranha 2, that doesn't have any features. I mean, even movies that James Cameron worked on as an effects artist have features. Battle Beyond the Stars, Galaxy of Terror, they all have features. Aliens, Aliens, Terminator 2, Terminator, The Abyss, Titanic, Avatar. Not True Lies, nothing. Nothing. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. It's not acceptable anymore. 20th Century Fuckface, get off your ass and release a good DVD or a Blu-ray. I don't care what kind of format it is, but give me something other than a bare bones release of True Lies. So I'm not buying your bullshit lie of, well, 9/11 happened and we can't release the special edition because it deals with terrorism. Like I said, I'm sorry if I sound like an insensitive asshole. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't compute. Next up is a Stallone flick called Demolition Man. Demolition Man. Pretty sizable hit in 1993. Stallone had a huge comeback year that year. Cliffhanger. And then Demolition Man. Demolition Man is a classic. A lot of people like the film. It was critics somewhat enjoyed it. It's without a doubt Sly's best science fiction effort, and is a lesser science fiction effort. Judge Dredd just got released on Blu-ray recently, and it has a featurette from back in the day on it. But Demolition Man has nothing. Demolition Man has a commentary track with Mark Marbilla, I think Joel Silver, that I can't turn off on the widescreen version of the film. So, fuck it. That's an epic fuck up by Warner Bros. I can't even watch the widescreen version of Demolition Man because I have to listen to the commentary, which is boring, and I don't want to hear it. I want to watch the movie. I don't want to hear the commentary. Why the hell is the commentary track stuck on the audio track when I try to play Demolition Man on widescreen on my DVD? That's an epic fuck up. I can't turn it off. I go to the menu, turn off commentary, doesn't work. So I have to watch it at full screen. Fucking bullshit. So, that's the earlier DVD release. But you can fix that by releasing a Blu-ray with features or a DVD, a better commentary. There has to be some kind of interviews with Sly around back in the time of Demolition Man because he was dressed up as John Spartan when he did interviews with Cliffhanger. For the Cliffhanger DVD. He was dressed up as John Spartan. There's got to be something lying around. Wesley Snipes, he's out of jail now. You can talk to him about the movie. Get on it. Great film. I think it deserves better than the bare bones with some boring ass commentary. So, next on my list is the Gremlins films. Yeah, the Gremlins first one has a special edition. It has features. It has a little documentary. It has a commentary. But it has most of the stuff is from back in the day. From like back in the 80s when it came out. There's not a lot of newer interviews. I think there's like an interview from when the time DVD came out, but it's not very long. This is a film that's a classic. Warner Brothers released a 2-disc of Batman and Robin, but no 2-disc of Gremlins. Gremlins is a classic. People love it. If Steven Spielberg is being an ass about Gremlins, then man, did he take over the production from Joe Dante? Is that it? I don't know. Hope not. Because that means that Steven Spielberg is an even bigger of a prick because he honestly just decides to take over every production, which is an asshole move. But I would hope he wouldn't be doing that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So maybe that's why we don't have a 2-disc of Gremlins. Because Steven Spielberg said, fuck you to Warner Brothers and won't let them use the footage to behind the scenes because maybe there's a secret involving Gremlins. I don't know. But I think the film deserves like an hour-long documentary. This film's a huge phenomenon, especially in Germany. Germans are freaking crazy about Gremlins. Like they have their own like attraction about Gremlins and stuff. So, yeah, I think it deserves better, a little bit better DVD. And same for Gremlins 2. Gremlins 2 is bare bones, doesn't have anything. I don't think it has a commentary. I don't remember correctly if it does or not. But it doesn't have a featurette from back in the day. It doesn't have anything. Gremlins 2 is a solid sequel. It made a decent amount of money. So I think both films deserve 2 discs. If The Fly 2, which I like a lot, gets a 2-disc from 20th Century Fox, and Batman and Robin gets one, why doesn't Gremlins and Gremlins 2 get 2 discs from Warner Brothers? Next up is Waxwork. Waxwork, another Zach Galligan film. Underrated, fun, imaginative horror flick. I guess there was at one point in time Lionsgate was considering doing a special edition, but didn't decide to do it because they didn't think it would sell. Well, you're wrong, Lionsgate. You fucked up because I would have bought it. Another friend of mine would have bought it. I know another friend of his would have bought it, and I'm pretty sure another friends of friends of friends of friends of other friends would have bought it too. You fucked up. I don't know what focus group you used, but you didn't use the right one because Waxwork does have a cult fan base, and if the cast and crew was willing to do interviews and all that, excuse me, just fucking Lionsgate. So anyway, if they were willing to do that, then why won't you go for it? You did one for the Wraith. If I had my choices, or if I had my druthers, I'd rather see a special edition of Waxwork than a special edition of the Wraith. Waxwork is a better film than the Wraith. The Wraith is Charlie Sheen's in it, and the best thing about it is the car. Other than that, it's kind of so-so. It's not the greatest thing in the world. I find it entertaining. I don't hate it. I like the film, but I like Waxwork better, and I would have liked to see how they did the effects in that more than the Wraith. But, maybe it's just me. But they were thinking about doing it and said, fucking, no, let's not do it. Like, they got to the point where they got funding, and they were going to do it, and they got schedules for the cast and crew, for interviews and commentaries and shit, and they decided, fucking, no, we don't want to do it. I don't know why, but it's bullshit, and it's a mistake, Lionsgate, and you should have done it. So I think Waxwork deserves a better DVD, and definitely because the DVD, I don't even think it's an unrated version. I think the unrated version, the only way you can find the unrated version of Waxwork is on VHS. So that's another reason why it needs a better DVD. So it has an unrated version on it as well. Waxwork 2 is a good sequel to. It'd be nice to see features for that, but I highly doubt it. But the first film at least deserves DVD. I was originally going to get one. And that's just bullshit that it decided, no, we don't want to do it. The Die Hard trilogy. I'm talking about Die Hard, Die Hard 2, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. I know they came out with a Blu-ray box set recently, and it had like a little bit of documentaries about the villains, Die Hard, or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in-depth, hour-long. You know how the Alien films have these in-depth, and the Fly movies have these in-depth, long, hour-long, feature-length documentaries on the making of the movies? The Die Hard films deserve that, as much as those films do. Just like Rambo, in my opinion, the Rocky films do. They're that much of the it's such a huge part of the action genre. Some of the greatest action movies of all time. And they got some really kind of wimpy sort of meh features. I mean, Bruce Willis, you just sit Bruce Willis down and he talks for an hour and a half about all three movies. I don't care. Something more than substantial for the Die Hard films. Because I think they deserve it. I really do. I think they deserve like an hour long, hour and a half, feature-length long documentaries. Especially the first one. I think the first one's a no-brainer. It's arguably the greatest action movie of all time. And the features are just kind of... they're not even that great. Even on the 5-star collection, they weren't very good. They were okay. They could have been a lot better. Speed of 5-star collection, Speed. Speed deserves a newer DVD now, or Blu-ray, with up-to-date interviews from now. Not from back in the day. Speed's another classic action movie. That's right up there with some of the greatest action movies of all time, in my opinion. Keanu Reeves would talk about Speed. I guarantee he would. I wouldn't think he wouldn't. So, Speed and the Die Hard movies. Better DVDs. Better Blu-rays. This one's just for personal opinion, and a lot of people disagree with me, but I say, fuck it. Super Mario Brothers. I just think it would be interesting to see the backstory from the cast and the crew, the directors, of what happened. With this, I heard it was just a train wreck of a production. Just that alone would make an interesting documentary. But no, Super Mario Brothers is hated by everybody, gets a really shitty low rating on IMDb because it's not dealing with the little midget running around jumping on mushrooms and saving a princess. So Super Mario Brothers fans got all pissy and were like, it's not in the game. I'm sorry. So if Street Fighter with Van Damme has a collector's edition with a featurette, a commentary, and all that shit. And the Super Mario Brothers movie doesn't have one, and it actually honestly made more money than Street Fighter in the box office. Remember correctly? Why does that have a special edition? I know there's a featurette. It's on YouTube. That should have been on the DVD. I've seen the featurette. It's like 3 parts. It's like 30 minutes. It's like a genuinely like 30-minute long featurette. I don't know why it's not on the DVD. And a commentary would be interesting from the directors to see their point of view. You know, what they're, because I heard a lot of stuff about them getting fired. Cast members hated them. I'm not expecting interviews with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. I know they hate the film. But that'd be fun anyway. Talk to them. What did you hate about the production? I think it would just alone, it would make an interesting feature-length documentary about this production. Just by itself would be interesting. And plus, it's a Nintendo. It's the first ever video game movie. I would think it deserved a little bit more than just bare bones. I don't know, regardless of its reputation or not. Because Street Fighter has a collector's edition. In fact, out of all the video game movies, based on, from the early 90s, the only one that has any features is Street Fighter. That's just mind-boggling. Let's keep on with the video game stuff. Let's go to Mortal Kombat. The most successful video game movie of the 90s, if not pretty much of all time, really, if you look at the box office receipts. I've heard people say that it's cheesy now, and it's only fun to watch because it's bad. Fuck you. No. It's only fun to watch because it's fun to watch. And it's an awesome movie. Mortal Kombat is like one of Paul W. Wildstyle Anderson's best films. It deserves features. I don't even know why it didn't have any features when it first was released on DVD. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't think it has a commentary, no interviews with the cast, there's no featurette. I know there's a featurette on YouTube, so that's bullshit. That should have been on the DVD. There's a commentary that's on the Laserdisc, but it's not on the DVD. How does that happen? There's an example of New Line fucking up again with one of their most popular properties. Just like they did with the Turtles. Mortal Kombat doesn't need anything. We just put the movie on there and that's that. Heck, I think Annihilation has a commentary, if I remember correctly. And if that's the case, it's sad. If Annihilation has features and the first one doesn't, that's bullshit. So, yeah, 2 video game movies right there that deserve something, in my opinion. At least Super Mario Bros. Could have the featurette from back in the day. The music video by Roxette of Almost Unreal. That would have been fine. Just that would have been fine. Okay? But Mortal Kombat, that's an even more of a no-brainer. I don't understand Mortal Kombat having no features. I don't. Should be having a Blu-ray soon with like an anniversary edition or something with features. I think it's a good enough film and there's a big enough fan base for Mortal Kombat that deserves a better DVD or Blu-ray. Next one I'm going to talk about is Waterworld. Whether you like the film or not, the behind the scenes of this film would be absolutely fantastic to watch. It really would be. It would be great to see the making of this film. It would be great to see it in depth behind the scenes and how they did the effects. Because whether you like it or not, they are very impressive. The way they set up this water world and everything. And they filmed it on a fucking ocean. On the fucking ocean they filmed this film. They were on the ocean filming this movie. And at the time it was the most expensive movie of all time. You could talk about the movie and the problems it had on production. You could talk about the issues with the director and the star. You could talk about how they did the effects as well. Talk about the critical reception of the film. Talk about the impact of the movie. You could talk about all this kind of stuff. Robin Hood is a 2-disc, and I like Robin Hood a lot more than, Robin and Prince of Thieves more than Waterworld. But Waterworld, I thought the extended cut that they released, which was 2 discs, was going to have features. It doesn't. It doesn't have any features. It's just a 2-disc with the theatrical and the extended TV version. Why doesn't this have any features? The backstory alone on the make of Waterworld would be interesting in itself to watch. To see how they made this film. regardless of if it was a huge flop or not, it would still be really interesting to see how they made this movie. But because of the reception of the film, because of people's, ideas of the movie, I guess Universal doesn't even want to take a chance at all of even giving it anything. I think that's just bad. I just think Waterworld isn't that shitty of a movie that it doesn't deserve something. I mean, a featurette. Something. But like I was saying, it's a great story. The behind the scenes of this movie would make a great documentary. And it would be interesting, it would be fascinating, it would be thought-provoking. Talk about the revolutionary sort of, inventions of effects they use for the film. I just think it would be great to see.
But that's just my personal opinion. So that's Waterworld. Next one, Bride of Reanimator. When Bride of Reanimator was first released on DVD, had nothing until I think a Lead Entertainment got a hold of it, released a special 2-disc that is now out of print, hard to find, and you have Anchor Bay released a 2-disc recently of Reanimator, which had good features, but they didn't release one for Bride of Reanimator. And I think Bride of Reanimator is a very good sequel, very solid and on par with the original at points. So I think Bride of Reanimator is a very solid sequel, one of the better horror sequels out there, and I think it deserves a little bit of a better DVD. The Elite DVD, or what I think it was Elite, was pretty good. It's a pretty good DVD, but it's hard to find. It's out of print. So I think it deserves another re-release of Bride of Reanimator with features, with a commentary and new featurettes with the effects artists, and let's interview Jeffrey Combs again. I really think, it deserves a little bit extra. Just about as much as extra treatment they gave for Reanimator, Anchor Bay did, they should do the same for Bride of Reanimator. Because I don't think it's that bad of a sequel. I think it's a very solid sequel, if not a little underrated. Next up, Flight of the Navigator. I have a soft spot for this movie. I grew up with it. It wasn't a huge hit for Disney, but it did make a decent amount of money. They're thinking about remaking it, so obviously they think it has some sort of impact. DVD's bare bones. It's in widescreen, which is nice, but it's bare bones. I would love to see interviews with the kid growing up, Joey Kramer. Let's talk to Sarah Jessica Parker. Let's talk to the director. Let's have a commentary. Let's have like a 30-minute featurette. Something. Flight of the Navigator has a big fan base. A lot of people grew up with this movie, including me, and Disney just gives it nothing. Cheap jack nothing. I'm not even bothered to even put any effort into the DVD. Unless it's an animated Disney movie, Disney doesn't give a shit usually. Which is sad. It's too bad, really. They give a shit about the Rocketeer, and they don't care about Flight of the Navigator. It's just lame. Another Disney property, which I still to this day don't understand why it doesn't have any features, The Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks films. Why aren't there any features? Why isn't there a featurette? Like back in the day, let's interview the cast. Joshua Jackson has The Mighty Ducks and his role as Charlie to thank for his career. Because if he didn't get the role in Mighty Ducks, nobody would know who he was, and he wouldn't get a role in Dawson Creek or anything. So, Mighty Ducks is basically the film that started his career. Emilio Estevez, this is a movie that basically kind of, if you think about it, I mean, Mighty Ducks is a film that I just surprised a lot of people when it came out, Mighty Ducks, and for Emilio Estevez, it showed that he could, do a little bit something different, be a little bit more dramatic actor, and I would love to see Emilio's thoughts on the Mighty Ducks films. I would love to see it. Maybe he hates them. If he does, fine. Then whatever. But it still would be interesting to hear his thoughts on the films. Let's get the cast together, Goldberg. Let's get all the cast together from the Mighty Ducks films. Sit them down. Let's interview them. Talk about the the experiences on the movie. These are probably really great experiences for these young kids to be in these movies. It looked like they had a lot of fun. I enjoy the movies. There's a shit ton of kids who grew up, 90s kids, who grew up watching the Mighty Ducks movies. Just like The Sandlot. And The Sandlot doesn't have any features either. So there's these really, these sports movies that kids grew up watching and actually inspired them, and some of them inspired kids to take up sports. I got a story personally. I showed a kid, one of my, it's like an adopted kid from my grandparents. They adopted these kids. And I showed them, Mighty Ducks movies recently. And one of the kids is like,
I want to take up hockey now. I want to play hockey, after watching these movies. Like, I mean, that's really cool. Like, it inspired people to go out and play sports. The Mighty Ducks movies are the reason why the Anaheim Ducks even exist. So, these movies were popular enough to spawn a sports franchise. An actual sports team. So they're not the Mighty Ducks anymore. They're the Anaheim Ducks. But they still wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the success of the Mighty Ducks movies. So having nothing, not a commentary with a director, Stephen Herek, I wouldn't. Stephen Herek would probably talk about it. There's nothing. There's nothing. And even the transfers of the Mighty Ducks movies on DVD are kind of not the greatest. I don't even think they're on Blu-ray. They should be on Blu-ray. Disney, get off your ass and release the Mighty Ducks movies on Blu-ray with features. Come on. A lot of people grew up with these movies, including me, and give them the treatment they deserve because they made you a shit ton of money, Disney. They created a sports team for you that made double the merchandise for you. So, come on now. Next up, RoboCop 2. I understand RoboCop 2 is a love or hate film for some people. I love it. I've always loved RoboCop 2. Anybody who lumps it in with Part 3, that's okay. That's your opinion. But I don't understand it. I don't get it. This movie, RoboCop 2, is 10 times better than RoboCop 3. Peter Weller is back. It's still got the gritty, tough tone as the first film. You're shooting people. They're getting shot. Blood spraying everywhere. It's violent. It's got the satire elements. It works. It's got a fun robot battle between RoboCop and RoboCane. They've raised the stakes with the evil robot. The drug element I thought worked. I don't have really barely any issues whatsoever with RoboCop 2. I really enjoy the film. And I think there's a featurette from back in the day that I think is on a Laserdisc. But it's not on the DVD. There's deleted scenes that aren't the greatest quality, but they're on the internet flying around somewhere. I know the director passed away, and that's too bad. But I still think this movie deserves something. RoboCop, great film. The first one's a great movie, but I think RoboCop 2 is an underrated sequel. As you can see, I like RoboCop 2, and I think that deserves a better DVD. A commentary. You could have Peter Weller talk about the movie. Do a commentary with Peter Weller. Interview the kid who played Hobb. Let's talk to, what's his name face? The guy who, Tom Noonan. He did interviews for the Monster Squad DVD. You probably wouldn't mind talking about his role as Kane. Probably his role in the Monster Squad got him the role as Kane. I don't know. I remember hearing a little bit something like that. Talk to Belinda Bauer. Talk to Nancy Allen. Talk to Frank Miller about what was used and what wasn't. Something. I think it deserves a little bit better than that. Get that featurette that's from 1990 that's on a Laserdisc and put it on the DVD or the Blu-ray. What, are you too lazy? All it takes to get that damn featurette is to get a copy of that fucking Laserdisc, burn it, rip the fucking thing off the Laserdisc, convert it or something in a good enough format to put it on your DVD or Blu-ray and call it a fucking day. It's not that hard. It really isn't. So maybe it's harder than I think. Maybe it's harder than I think to get it in the right definition or whatever. But I don't give a shit. It could be in lower quality, but just to have it on there would be better than nothing. So that's how I feel about RoboCop 2. I think RoboCop 2 deserves a better DVD than it gets. Nothing, bare bones, jack shit. There's a featurette from back in the day on a Laserdisc. Can't have it anywhere. It's an extremely rare Laserdisc. I would love to see it, but I can't get my hands on it because it's too fucking rare. So good luck with that. Gotta take out a loan on my house to go buy a Laserdisc that's like 30 minutes of behind the scenes of RoboCop 2. It's too much. Talk about the effects. Phil Tippett, how he did the RoboCane. That'd be cool. If you want to do it this way, MGM, you can do it this way. You can do another box set. You can have a little bit more
features on the first film, more actual features on the second movie. Talk to Phil Tippett about his effects on RoboCop 2. Talk to Peter Weller about RoboCop 2. Talk to the cast of RoboCop 2. Do this same sort of backstory, AMC backstory, or the other kind of stuff, documentaries they did, Flesh and Steel documentary that you did for RoboCop. Do that for RoboCop 2. And then if you want, you could do the whole thing. You could talk to some people about RoboCop 3. It might be interesting, regardless or not. If I don't care for the film, I still might find the behind-the-scenes stuff interesting, like how they did the jetpack and how they did the gun arm attachments. That might be interesting to see. But let's check it out. Get it like a box set, trilogy box set with features and features. Get the same features from the 2-disc of RoboCop and the original, unrated cut of RoboCop and the trilogy box set. Get new features for RoboCop 2. Get new features for RoboCop 3. Commentaries for all 3 films. And call it a day. Let's get like some big, 5-disc RoboCop Blu-ray set. Because RoboCop is awesome. And I swear to God, I guarantee it, when the RoboCop remake comes out, it's going to have a buttload of features on DVD and Blu-ray. And RoboCop 2 is probably still going to have nothing. And that's bullshit. So anyway, talk about another film that I have a poster of back there, and it's Darkman. Darkman is a great movie. Sam Raimi's first sort of foray into superhero films. Liam Neeson is in it. Liam Neeson is really popular nowadays with Taken. Why don't you interview Liam Neeson? Have him talk about Darkman. That's my favorite role of his, but there's got to be some promotional material lying around. There's got to be a featurette from back in the day or something. It could just be like a 30-minute long documentary. That's fine. Looking back at Darkman. That's fine. It's cool. A commentary with Sam Raimi. That would be better than nothing. But nothing? Darkman didn't do that great in the box office, but it did well enough for them to make direct-to-video sequels. So I guess it didn't really totally tank for Universal. So Tony Gardner, I guarantee Tony Gardner would love to talk about his effects work for Darkman. I don't think he would not like to talk about it. I'm pretty sure if you sat Tony Gardner down and told him, hey, let's talk about Darkman. How did you do this? How did you do that? He was like, oh, great, finally. He'd be like, finally, I get to talk about Darkman and my work for Darkman, which I busted my ass off and had to come up with, completely different sort of ideas to get it to work because I had issues and so forth. Because I think there's a little bit of info about the Darkman makeup in a book, makeup effects book I have. They had to do a lot of improv to get it to work right. So, Darkman. I think it deserves a better DVD. It's just me. Let's get our anniversary DVD or something with Blu-ray with features. I think Darkman deserves that. Shout Factory. Get Darkman. Man, that would be awesome. Get a hold of Darkman. They got a hold of some other Universal films. Get a hold of Darkman. Because obviously I don't think Universal gives a shit about Darkman. Not lately, anyway. It was a popular enough of a character inspired a Marvel comic. So get on that. Staying with Universal, Shocker. Wes Craven's Shocker. Let's also do People Under the Stairs. 2 underrated Wes Craven movies that have no features. I don't understand that. I really don't. Shocker and what People Under the Stairs didn't do that great at the box office. But like I'm going to say it again, neither did the thing. So box office shouldn't be the only reason why you do a DVD with features. Oh, another one for Universal. Surfing in the Rainbow. There you go. 3 Wes Craven movies that don't have any features that Shout Factory or Scream Factory need to get on the phone and get a hold of the rights. Because I guarantee if they could get the rights to those movies, they'd probably do their best to get features for them. Interviews the director, commentary, little featurettes. Let's interview Bill Pullman about Surfing the Rainbow. Let's go and interview Mitch Pileggi about Shocker. Let's talk to Peter Berg about Shocker and his experiences. Maybe even Wes Craven wouldn't mind talking about him. Commentaries with Wes Craven for all 3 films. That'd be cool. So I think those are some really great Wes Craven films. I think are underrated. And I think those are better DVDs. Better than nothing. Better than bare bones. Nothing. Let's give you a trailer and that's it. That's lame. I'm sorry. Scream 4 has more features than all 3 of those movies. And Scream 4 sucks. So can we get better features for
Surfer of the Rainbow, People Under the Stairs, and Shocker. Like, Shout Factory, Scream Factory editions. That would be awesome. Continuing with Wes Craven, I have a soft spot for this movie. I know it's bad, but I have a soft spot for this film, and it is Swamp Thing. And it's Shout Factory got a hold of the rights, and they're releasing a Blu-ray recently, coming out pretty soon. It's Swamp Thing, but it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any features. No interviews with Dick Durdock. No interviews with Adrian Barbeau. Nothing. And I'm like, I didn't think there was even a commentary. I'm like, well, this is kind of a cult classic for some people. It was popular enough to inspire a sequel and a TV series. So I think a little bit something would be better than nothing when it comes to Swamp Thing. But I guess I can kind of understand it. But at the same time, I kind of don't. I'd be curious to see how they did the effects of Swamp Thing, how cheesy they are. I'd be curious to see Ray Wise's opinion on his bit role as, Alec, the doctor, the scientist who becomes Swamp Thing. Dick Durdock, he has nothing better to do. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind talking about the movie. So, Louis Jordan, Adrian Barbeau, talk about the Infamous uncut version. They should have deleted scenes, or they should have the uncut European version on the Blu-ray too, but they don't. Because it wasn't supposed to be released in the first place. Because MGM fucked up and released the uncut European version of the film on VHS and DVD when it was first released through MGM, which was movies rated PG, but with this version it was like R, because it had like a little bit extra gore. It had, full frontal nudity. Adrian Barbeau. So I mean that's nice to see, but I have a great story because I bought the VHS like Big Lots. No, I rented the DVD at the library of Swamp Thing. I watched it with my mom. And I had no idea it was an uncut version. Neither did my mom. So we're watching it and Mom's like, oh my, she's got her she's topless. Mike, don't look. What is this? I'm like, what? And I was like young enough. I'm like, I didn't even know what, topless or top, or whatever she was showing. I'm like, her boobs are out. Mom's like, her boobies are showing. And I'm like, what? That was basically, she's losing her top again. Close your eyes. And there's another one where, like, he cut his arm off. Don't look, so. That was a fun story with the uncut version of Swamp Thing. That was such a controversy. Of course, there's a fuck up by MGM, and you had actual parents who protested, Blockbuster, or like, take this off the shelf. This is in the family section, and it had tits in it. I can't have my kids seeing tits. That's just not right. The titties are bad for you. They're bad for kids' eyes. They melt them into little puddles of, eyeball fluid. I can't know. Of course, I would guarantee the dad probably didn't give a shit. The dad's like, oh, fuck it, whatever. It's my wife, I don't get to see that. I mean, how often do you get to see Adrian Barbeau's rack, man? That's awesome. I'm jealous. I wish I could have seen that. It's probably how the fathers felt. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm just fucking around. But it's funny. It really is. My mom's all like, her boobies are showing. And I'm like, ah. So anyway, Swamp Thing, I would like to see a little bit better DVD. It's Shout Factory got the rights, but it doesn't have anything. No commentary, no featurette from back in the day, or featurette, interviews with the cast. And the uncut version. So I can see Adrian Barbeau's mythical rack again. Next one, Pacific Heights. Underrated thriller with Michael Keaton, one of his best performances. Nothing. It didn't tank at the box office. It did decent. I don't even think it has a commentary. It's another example of Warner Brothers saying, fuck it, we don't care when it comes to DVDs. So I think it would be interesting to see Michael Keaton's thoughts on it now. Melanie Griffith's thoughts on it now. Even Matthew Modine's thoughts on it now. Commentary with the director. A featurette from back in the day. Something. I think Pacific Heights is a great enough thriller and well known enough from people who are familiar with release with Michael Keaton and thrillers that I think deserves a better DVD. But I think the director, he passed away. I think that's why you don't have a commentary, if I remember correctly. Next one, Amazon Women on the Moon. Classic, funny, hilarious comedy. And it's actually directed by multiple different famous directors. John Landis directs the segment. There's a lot of great, early classic directors directing the segments of this film. All-star cast. I think it's a no-brainer for Universal to do a special edition of this with features. Maybe there is one, but I don't know anything about it. But this is one of the films that should have gotten a collector's edition. Arsenio Hall. You have Arsenio Hall, that hilarious scene where the beginning of the movie, he's got all these. I don't even want to spoil it. You just have to see it. There's Arsenio Hall on Amazon Women on the Moon. Hilarious bit of slapstick. Dark humor, a little bit of dark humor interspersed as well. There's dark humor, there's slapstick humor, there's great stuff, there's clever stuff. There's an early appearance by Andrew Dice Clay in this movie. I just think it deserves a little bit extra for Amazon Women on the Moon. Classic comedy, very funny, and a little bit extra would be nice. Moontrap, just released on DVD would be something. Just releasing it on DVD and Blu-ray would be something. This just sounds like something that Shout Factory should get a hold of. Please, Shout Factory, get a hold of Moontrap, release it on a Blu-ray, DVD, combo pack like The Nest. Have a commentary with the writer, Tex Ragsdale, or the director, and call it, if you could get interviews with Walter Koenig and the cast, or the creators of the makeup effects, that'd be cool too. But if not, just having the film on DVD and Blu-ray would be better than nothing. Because there's got to be some print lying around in widescreen, because I've heard it from the director. He had a print that he showed at some film festival that was in widescreen. So it's got to exist somewhere, I understand why they don't want to release it if it's got really shitty quality, but, if they're going to release a VHS rip, I can understand that. But it'd be nice to see Moontrap. It really would be. I find it to be an underrated movie. It came out before Virus, and it's better than Virus. And Virus has features. So it'd be nice to see Moontrap get the same treatment at least that Virus got. And another film, The Kindred. Another film that's only on VHS. And it was originally going to be released by Synapse. And then something fell through, and then it didn't get released. And I still, to this day, don't know why it didn't get released. I'm going to Synapse's forums. There's no answers. There's nothing. No answers. Just like the Werewolf TV series. No answers. Werewolf TV series, actually, there's an answer because of the music that was in it. Some rights issues. I don't think you're going to deal with any music rights issues with Kindred. Why isn't The Kindred on DVD? Why is it only what I get DVD of it is in Germany, which is basically just a rip of the VHS that I can get somewhere, anywhere online. I could just rip the VHS rip that I got on my hard drive onto a DVD, and I'll have the same thing. So, The Kindred, I enjoy the film. I find it to be underrated, creature feature, goopy, slimy, goopy monster movie. And just like Moontrap, I think it deserves at least an official DVD release. So, yes, some of these have already been released on DVDs in my titles. In some of my titles in this video have already been released on DVD, but some haven't. And that's like the ultimate mistreatment. That's the ultimate shaft, is not even getting released on DVD. And Moontrap and The Kindred are some of those films for me. I think they're really solid, underrated, flicks. I think they deserve better treatment. Deserve at least a DVD release. Something. Captain America, the 1990 piece of fucking crap with Matt Salinger and his rubber eaters, is getting a Blu-ray by Shout Factory that has interviews with Matt Salinger on it and features. But no official DVD for Moontrap or Kindred, or no features, laden DVD for The Rocketeer, which is 10 times better than 1990 Captain America movie. So, yeah, I just have an issue with that. Next up, speaking of movies that aren't on DVD, officially, The Keep. There are fans of The Keep. I know fans of The Keep. Stefan Peter, I'm talking to you, you Peter Pecker, fucking people eater, people purple eater, motherfucker. I'm talking to you. I know there's fans of those people, okay? I know there's fans of The Keep. There's probably fans of his ass too, but he's probably the only people who are fans of Stefan Peter is Stefan Peter. But anyway, what I'm getting to is there are fans of The Keep. Michael Mann's directorial debut, very atmospheric, great score by Tangerine Dream. I happen to like the film, but I don't love it. But I like the ideas, and I like the way it looks, and everything that it's definitely creepy, and it's got this ethereal sort of weird, really weird factor to it. And it'll be nice to see it in high def, and in widescreen. I have the Laserdisc. You want to know how much I paid for that for the Laserdisc that I have at the Keep, which is the only version of the film you can find in widescreen? I'll just say I paid an arm and a leg. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to say I paid the most money I've ever paid for one movie ever in my entire life for that one Laserdisc. That's how rare that Laserdisc is. That's how well sought after it is. So, that means the Keep has some sort of fan base. And I guess Paramount has been consistently trying to release it, but Michael Mann's being a dick and cock blocking the release every time they try to release it. He's just taking out his big schlong and just using it like a fucking bat and just smacking in it, you know, in the air. Just hitting it like a home run with his fucking giant schlong and saying, get that shit out of here. Michael Mann, you gotta start somewhere, okay? You have to start somewhere. Stop cock blocking the release of the Keep and let's get it out on DVD. It's on Netflix. People are gonna watch it anyway. I can watch it on Netflix. I don't have Netflix anymore. I have Amazon Prime, but I could watch it on Netflix. I think I watch it on Amazon. I could watch it on Amazon Prime. I could watch it online for free, in pretty good quality. I think it's in widescreen. It's the best quality I've ever seen the film in. And no, we can't release it officially on DVD because Michael Mann's being a dick. Well, Paramount, you should say, fuck you, Michael Mann. I don't give a shit. We own the rights to this movie. You don't own the rights to it. Do you personally own every right to the Keep? No, you don't. You were just a director who we hired you to direct this movie. So fuck you and your authority, and we are going to release this movie without your consent because we shouldn't need it in the first place. So that's really what approach they should take. If a director wants to be a dick about it, so what? He's not going to do a commentary. Fine. This is just a movie that needs a DVD release. Period. Just a DVD release. Something. It's directed by Michael Mann. It's got Scott Glenn. It's got Jürgen Prochnow. It's got Ian McKellen. It's got a score by Tangerine Dream. It deserves something. Just a DVD release. Features would be a bonus. But an official DVD Blu-ray release would be more than enough. In my opinion. But that's my opinion on the Keep. Next up, Broken Arrow. Didn't tank. Did really well, actually, in the box office when it came out. There's a documentary in the making of it from back in the day in some foreign language on YouTube. But it's not really in a foreign language. It's dubbed over in a foreign language. So that means that there's some sort of footage floating around somewhere of making a Broken Arrow that's in English. But 20th Century Fuckface wants to be lazy asses and doesn't want to do anything. Doesn't want to try to find it and at least put that on the DVD. This is bare bones, nothing. I love Broken Arrow. It's one of my all-time favorite action movies. I grew up watching this movie. It's one of my parents' favorite action movies. I pop in the VHS all the time. I love this music. I'll interview Hans Zimmer. That'd be interesting. Interview Hans Zimmer about how he did the score for Broken Arrow. Let's do interviews with Christian Slater and John Travolta. You know, there's a two-disc for Face Off, but no two-disc for Broken Arrow. And to be honest, I like Broken Arrow more than I like Face Off. So, I just think Broken Arrow is a very solid film, underrated. I think it deserves a better DVD. So that's Broken Arrow. Next one, The Witches of Eastwick, another Warner Brothers film. This is a film a lot of people remember. Look at the cast. Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer. That's a cast. That's a good cast you got there of well-known actors and actresses. It's directed by George Miller, who directed Mad Max. And there's no features. The movie did decent in the box office, critically acclaimed. A lot of Jack Nicholson fans think it's one of their favorite. It's one of my favorite Jack Nicholson movies. He plays a great devil. No interviews. No interviews with cast. No interviews with Cher. No interviews with Jack Nicholson. No commentary. No anything. And I'm like, why? The Witches of Eastwick is a classic. It's a great. It's like one of the few chick flicks that I honestly say that I genuinely enjoy. Inspired a crappy TV show that lasted like not even one episode, but still. Nothing doesn't make much sense. That should have a 2-disc. Just like the Gremlins movie should have a 2-disc. Warner Brothers, I'm just going to keep repeating this like a broken record. But it proves my point, Warner Brothers. You made a 2-disc of Batman and Robin. But no 2-disc of Witches of Eastwick, because I don't know why. I don't understand. Just no special edition for that movie. Next up, film very, very, very close to my heart. I'm going to say it, my favorite horror film of all time, Creepshow, in the United States. In the UK, you got some 2-disc with an hour-and-a-half long documentary and deleted scenes and like the best Creepshow 2-disc edition ever in overseas. But in the US, Warner Bros. Is like, fuck it, whatever. We'll just keep the same features on it as the Laserdisc, the movie, and a trailer. Because we're fucking lazy asses and we don't give a shit about Creepshow. Because it didn't make us $100 million. Creepshow is a classic. Horror fans, Stephen King fans, a lot of people point to Creepshow as like one of the best horror films of the 80s. Creepshow is a classic. The people in the UK, they gave it the respect it deserved. Now, the fucking country that the movie was made in and released in first needs to get off their ass and give the film the treatment it deserves as well. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. It's fucking bullshit that the Creepshow gets such a shitty DVD release in the United States, and Creepshow 2 gets a DiviMax edition, which is, I think it's good enough for Creepshow 2. The DiviMax edition, if you get your hands on it from Anchor Bay, it's got features, it's got an interview with the makeup effects artists, it's got a commentary. That's a good DVD for Creepshow 2. That's something. Creepshow doesn't have anything. Nothing. Even the Blu-ray. Nothing. You had an opportunity with the Blu-ray release, Warner Brothers, to get off your ass and do something and, show the UK, that, hey, we can actually make good special editions of movies we own, but no. No, we'll just be lazy asses. Just like Beetlejuice. But okay, who cares about Creepshow? I care about Creepshow. A lot of other people like Creepshow. I love Creepshow. I don't want to buy the Blu-ray. I see it in high def with nothing. I like to have, if I'm going to pay a little extra, I want something extra. And is that wrong? Is that wrong for me to want something extra if I'm going to pay something extra? But anyway, Creepshow deserves a better DVD in the United States. Next up, Split Second. Underrated, awesome sci-fi flick with Rutger Hauer. Cool effects, good idea. Second half, the climax could have been a little bit better, but, all in all, very solid film. The DVD is not even in widescreen. The old HBO DVD, which is now super fucking rare, you pay $200, $500. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to create, a little escort business in my own house to be able to afford to buy one copy of Split Second on DVD. So I can't really do that, though. Don't really have the time or the money or the wherewithal or the chicks or the access to these chicks to do that. So I'm just basically shit out of luck when it comes to getting a DVD of Split Second. So I just make my own DVD or just watch my Laserdisc that I have of it. But Split Second, great underrated movie. Shout Factory, this is definitely one you should get your hands on. I'd love to see a commentary by the director. Let's talk to the cast. Let's talk to Rutger Hauer and the British psychic guy, which I can't remember his name at the moment. It'd be nice to see his thoughts on the film. I would love to see how they did the creature effects of the monster. That'd be cool. But Split Second, at least in widescreen, that would be something. Continuing with not in widescreen releases, Death Machine, another underrated sci-fi flick. During the year of Cyberpunk 1995, Brad Dourif, great performance. Death Machine, better DVD in the US. The release is bare bones for one, and is in full screen, and it's not the uncut version. The only way you get the uncut version is overseas, and good luck trying to burn it because there's a link on VHD. Good luck trying to burn that version because the audio is corrupted for some reason, and you're fucked. You're shit out of luck if you want to watch the uncut version of Death Machine that you download off the internet because you're just going to have to watch it on your computer. You can't watch it any other way because it's probably a PAL DVD. And PAL DVDs don't burn well or some shit. I don't know. But that's another movie. Something. Death Machine. At least just a widescreen version. Another film not on DVD. Deep Space. Deep Space by Fred Olen Ray. One of his better films. Fun flick. Cool, badass, cool climax with a chainsaw. Charles Napier, fucking up some, alien with a chainsaw. A lot of fun. Low budget, but entertaining and fun. There's a version of it on Netflix and online that's a little bit brighter than the version on VHS from Transworld. The PAL VHS has better quality, but only a little bit better quality. Another Shout Factory, title that they should get a hold of. Deep Space. Fun movie. Fred Olen Ray flick. Deserves a DVD. Fucking Dark Universe has a DVD, and that movie's a pile of fucking shit. And that has a DVD, and Deep Space doesn't. Next one. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Huge hit for Disney. It has inspired a theme park attraction as part of Disneyland. Big hit. I know Rick Moranis is in retirement. He's retired because sadly his wife passed away. And, that's horrible. That sucks. But it still doesn't excuse the fact they didn't do anything for it when it first was released. Before he retired. I don't understand it. It was a huge hit, made a lot of money. I think the effects still hold up pretty well to this day because they are the best that they had back then. So people bad-mouthing effects from back in the 80s need to STFU, in my opinion, because CGI didn't barely even exist. And in my opinion, the effects of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids look better than any of the effects I see in CGI. So shut it. Shut it. Shut it, haters of 80s effects. I'm sorry. So, I would like to see how they did those effects. The closest I got to see how they did the effects for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is actually going to being a part of the attraction at Disneyland. And that was fascinating. Because there were people who worked on the film talking about the movie, and you got to be a part of the film and some of the effects, and you got to experience firsthand yourself, how they sort of did the effects of the miniaturization. How they did the effects of the miniaturized world and whatever. Got to be part of the Cheerio or whatever in the milk bowl, and got to deal with the ants and shit. It was really interesting and fascinating to be a part of that attraction. I don't know if it's still around, but that was interesting. But even nowadays, you had the 2 discs for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids deserves the same treatment, in my personal opinion. Let's get a Blu-ray recently. There's a Blu-ray recently, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, with new features. Let's do one for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I know Rick Moranis is in retirement because his wife. You can get a hold of him, say, hey, just talk about it. We'll pay you a little bit. You don't have to come out of retirement, just talk about the movie. I don't think you have to come out of retirement and talk about a movie you were in. I don't think so. Sean Connery still did interviews for stuff, if I remember correctly, even though he's retired. So I don't think that you have to come out of retirement to do an interview for, a movie you were in. Talk to the kids. Do this kind of thing. Do a commentary. I think Joe Johnston directed it, didn't he? I think he did. Do a commentary with the director. Something, Disney. Because nothing for Honey, Let's Shrunk the Kids doesn't make any sense. Because it's not like The Flight of the Navigator and The Rocketeer, where it didn't do as well as you had hoped. It made a lot of money. Next one I'm going to talk about is Hook. Big fan of Hook. I grew up with the movie. The movie has a lot of emotional connection to me. Every time I watch it, it reminds me of my dad. My dad was never there, so I could feel, I can feel the, Robin Williams' son's pain. I can feel his pain in this movie. Jack's pain. I can feel his pain. And I just think it's an underrated movie. Visually impressive, fun. It's a sequel to Peter Pan. I like Robin Williams' performances as Peter Pan. Dustin Hoffman plays a great Captain Hook. Yes, there's some things about it that don't hold up that great. I mean, the Lost Boys shtick kind of gets kind of old. The weird shit with the way the Lost Boys environment with living flowers and crap. I don't even know what is going on with that. Somebody was on an acid trip. But there's other stuff that I like about the film. I like the message of it, about fatherhood and about, being it's basically about being a good person, really. Deep down, that's what Hook is about. And I think it deserves a better DVD. It's a Steven Spielberg film. Didn't do that. It did. It made some money. It really did. It's a milestone for Sony because it's the first film they ever produced. And there's a featurette that's like 30 minutes or something that was on a Laserdisc in like Japan, I think. And we don't even have that on the DVD. A commentary would be nice too. It doesn't even have to be from Steven Spielberg. It could be come with a producer or one of the cast members. Robin Williams do a commentary. Let's sit Robin Williams down and have him talk about Hook. That would be interesting. I think Hook deserves more features, deserves better treatment. It's a film that actually, from what I remember, I mean, it was a big part of my childhood. I've talked to other people, and it's a big part of their childhoods, 90s kids at least. And I like Hook. I'd like to see a better DVD for Hook. I think it deserves that. And, Blu-ray with extra features. That'd be nice. Another Robin Williams movie I think deserves a little bit better is Toys. I want to see... It's the only reason why I'm asking about this is because I want to see... A commentary with the director would be nice. I don't know if Barry Levinson is still alive, though. But I would love to see how they did the amazing production design that was robbed of an Oscar. I swear, I don't even remember what beat Toys, for the Oscar, because Toys had some of the most amazing, spectacular production design I've ever seen in my entire life, and it didn't win, and I can't believe that. So, I want to see how they did the production design at least. Let's talk to the production designer for maybe like a 15-20 minute long interview, and that'd be fine. Have the music video from back in the day with the closing of the year, because that's on YouTube. There's a little featurette from back in the day that was on the DVD that was surprised was actually the Toys DVD from 20th Century Fox. For terms of features, decent amount of features. I don't remember sure if it had a commentary or not. I don't think it does. I don't think it does have a commentary. But it does have a featurette from back in the day, which I watched, which was fun. Didn't show a lot of in-depth on behind the scenes, but it showed a little bit, and that was fun to see. The trailers, all the trailers and TV spots for the film. So it had something on its original release, but I'd like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see it on Blu-ray. To see this film in Blu-ray would be great, because Toys is a visually stunning film, and it would be great to see it on Blu-ray. With a little bit interview with the production designer. Next one I'm going to talk about is a film that's not even on DVD. The Vindicator. The Vindicator. Vindicator is a film that I have the poster over here, like right there. It's basically RoboCop before RoboCop. This is another Shout Factory sort of film that you get a hold of. Release it. It doesn't have to have any features. Just to have it on DVD officially would be nice. It's not the greatest film in the world, but for a proto RoboCop or a proto Darkman, it's not half bad. It's not half bad. With early effects by Stan Winston. Next one, Leviathan. I know Leviathan will probably never, ever, ever get a special edition. Ever. Unless maybe Shout Factory gets their hands on it. But at least that Blu-ray, higher def. I would love to see features, though. I would love to see behind the scenes of the film. I would love to see how they did the effects. I would love to see how they did all of this kind of stuff. Let's get a little dark. There you go. It's brighter now. Bright. I'm in your face. But Leviathan, I like the film a lot. I'd love to see features. I'd love to see a commentary by the director. I don't think George P. Cosmatos is around anymore, though. I think he passed away. So you can't do that. But Peter Weller. Let's talk to Peter Weller about Leviathan. Let's talk to Ernie Hudson about his experience in Leviathan. I like Leviathan. I'd like to see a little bit better DVD, Shout Factory. Be nice to see it on Blu-ray, too. In high def. I'm going to talk about a couple more, and then I'm going to take them. Then I'll be it for part 2. And then stay tuned for, part 3, or I don't even know how many more parts, because I have another page and a half to still go through. So anyway, The Arrival. The Arrival, great underrated sci-fi flick with Charlie Sheen, one of his better films. And the reason why I'm saying that it deserves a better DVD is because, not only because I find it underrated, because there's no reason for it, the DVD when it was first released, to not have a good DVD in the first place. Because everything that was needed for a good Arrival DVD right off the bat was there on the Laserdisc. I have the Laserdisc special edition of The Arrival. I was blown away when I found out it even existed. And second, I was even more surprised when I found out how many features that are on it. There's like a featurette, there's another featurette, there's a commentary. I'm just speechless. See, I can't even form any sentences to explain why. Why isn't all that stuff on the DVD? Why wasn't that on the DVD in the first place? Why? The Blu-ray, the Laserdisc wasn't released by some other company. It was released by Pioneer through Live Entertainment, who ended up releasing the DVD. So why wasn't the DVD? Why didn't the DVD have the same features as the Laserdisc? I don't understand that. Why didn't the Blu-ray, when it came out recently, have the features that are on the Laserdisc? I don't know. Maybe the people who own the rights don't give a shit about Arrival, but I'm sorry. I think The Arrival is a great film and one of the better science fiction films of the 90s. Next up, this is the last one I'm going to talk about because I feel very passionate about this one, and I feel very passionate about a lot of other ones I'm going to talk about as well. But Inner Space. I love Inner Space. It's a great movie, classic, Martin Short's best film, my favorite Dennis Quaid movie. I love Inner Space. It won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. I want to see how they did those effects, because to this day they are still very impressive. So I love to see Warner Brothers release a Blu-ray with, I don't even think it's on Blu-ray yet. It should be on Blu-ray. It would look amazing on Blu-ray in high def. The effects would look fantastic, and I would love to get a little extra bonus on how they did the effects. Now, if I remember correctly, I think there is like a commentary with the effects guys. So maybe it's because I don't have the DVD, so I can't really hear it. So I haven't heard it yet. You're surprised I don't have the DVD, because I wanted to see a little bit more. I want to see a featurette or the music video with Rod Stewart, Twisting the Night Away, that's on YouTube. A little bit more for Inner Space. That would be nice. It didn't make the most amount of money, but it was a Steven Spielberg production. It did do decently. It's widely considered Martin Short's best film by a lot of people. It won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, but when it comes to Warner Brothers, I guess that doesn't mean anything. But I think there is I remember correctly, I think there was a commentary with the effects artist, so I probably just need to buy the DVD and then quit bitching about Inner Space. But I think it deserves a little bit extra. And it deserves a Blu-ray release, because I don't think it's on Blu-ray yet. Get that on Blu-ray. It will look fantastic. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching part 2 of movies that get the Shaft on DVD. And stay tuned for part 3 whenever I decide to do it. And thank you, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.